Hello, everybody. It is me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows for now. So last night I was, you know, texting, not texting. I was inputting the text for my Facebook post about last Sudsy Recap. And I totally fell asleep in the middle of it. Was out all night. Slept in today. Although the most I could sleep in was 7 o'clock. But you know what? For me, that's like 3 hours later than I normally wake up. So that's fine. I'm okay with that. So I slept until 7, and I get up and I look at my phone, and I could not make any sense of anything that I had written, so I started over and I reposted. I mean, I didn't end up hitting send, so I ended up posting what I should have wrote the whole time. So it was pretty good. Anyways, excuse me. I haven't done that in a while. I haven't belched on camera in quite some time. Okay, so let's talk about RuPaul's Drag Race. Okay, now here's the thing. You know I'm a little bit behind, so Drag Race for me is, Drag Race is the one show that everyone always gets upset about spoilers. Well, there's not going to be any spoilers here because this episode happened like 4 episodes ago. But so in this particular episode, there was a big conflict between the Vixen and Eureka. Now, a lot of people online are all irritated because they just hate the Vixen. Because, I mean, her first words when she walked through the workroom doors were, "I'm here to fight." And so, Eureka... Now, here's the thing. Like, Eureka was talking to Vixen and maybe Monet Exchange, maybe. And she said she called them crafty queens, which I don't think is that much of an insult, to be honest with you, to be called crafty. Like, you know who else is crafty? Rosie O'Donnell. She's crafty. Obviously, Martha Stewart is very crafty. I don't necessarily think that that's a read, but apparently the Vixen did, and she went off on Eureka. And even Eureka was like, yeah, I made a smart comment to try and test her. And I'm like, first of all, Vixen, you need to not be so sensitive. And second of all, Eureka, you need to come up with some better reads, if that's a read. Because that wasn't even shady. Like, shady would be, saying something else. But that was not even shade. That was just, it was kind of dumb. So they had this challenge. They had this. They had to give 3 lurks, as RuPaul would say. I don't know if I like that, lurks. I like looks. Yeah, whatever. They had to give 3 looks on the runway. They had to give 3 different pieces. The first piece was summertime in Alaska. No, winter in Alaska. Because the theme of it all was global warming, right? So there was winter in Alaska. No, yeah, winter in Alaska, which was all bikinis and stuff. And then there was summer in Miami, which was like fur, which was basically the opposite, right? And then there was the Martian. They had a Martian theme. You had to do something from outer space. So everyone came out and they all gave really good looks. And I mean, some of them were a little more basic than others. And one of them this really broke my heart. One of them who really came really close to being sent home. Well, not being sent home, but being in the bottom 2. She was the third one that was in jeopardy, and she ended up being safe, but was Asia O'Hara. And that surprised me because they showed throughout the entire episode, and you know what? I have to give the queens of season 10 some credit because they all stepped up and they said she helped all of us. She really did. She is Master Seamstress, so she definitely helped all of the queens when it comes to help put together their outfits. But because of that, she was not able to. She wasn't able to work on her own outfits. So her outfits looked a little bit half-assed. And she explained what happened. And RuPaul and Michelle Visage, they were both like, look, this is why, when you go on an airplane and they say, put your mask on first and then put your child's mask on. That's why they do that, because you've got to take care of yourself always first and then take care of the ones that you love. So it was actually a really touching moment. And boy, I need to trim my eyebrows. Good Lord, how long is, ooh, as I'm talking about drag queens, and yet my eyebrows are like giving me old man eyebrows. They kind of reminded me of my grandfather a little bit. Anyways, okay, so, I'm toying with the idea, and I don't think I will do it, but of doing an episode with my full-on bedhead. I rock the absolute worst bedhead, but you know who gives me a run for my money? My friend Melissa Ty and her little boy London, who's only like 6. But the two of them, they have pretty bad bedhead too. But I'm telling you, mine is worse. Mine is much worse, and I always have to like run a comb through it before I do a show, because it's like, especially like today, being so early in the morning, it's crazy. It's really crazy. So Asia was all upset, and then they let her go. Now, Aquaria, let's talk about Aquaria versus Miss Cracker, right? I definitely think that there's a little more animosity coming from Aquaria than there is coming from Ms. Cracker. But they both did great in the challenge. And I believe that it was Aquaria that won the challenge. So she did great. Her looks were fantastic. They really were. But here's what's interesting. There was this one look that she had where she was practically naked, and she had like these it was her Martian look, and she had like these lightning bolts and lightning covering her chest, and like this, it was cape, it was actually, and a fascinator, it was quite stunning actually. But what was weird was, I don't know if anyone else noticed this, maybe I'm the only one that noticed this, but when you saw her walking from the side, you saw that they had pixelated the area around her crotch. So I'm wondering, did she do that whole routine with her dick hanging out? I mean, like, wow. I mean, that takes a lot of balls in more ways than one. I'm probably going to shave today, too. Yeah, because I'm going out with my friend Brandon to the Golden Tiki, and I'm very excited about that, but that's not till this afternoon, so I might take a bath, actual bath. Yeah, so Aquaria won, but Miss Cracker did serve up some fierce looks as well. She's the cutest little pocket gay. I swear to God, she's adorable. She is adorable. Like, I mean, like, she's really cute. I mean, Aquaria is good looking too, but there's a certain self-awareness that Aquaria has, and I wouldn't necessarily call it off-putting, because it can be a good thing, but it can also come off as arrogance a little bit. And I know that that's not really the place that she's coming from, so that's why it hasn't, but she's good looking too. And obviously Cameron Michaels, everyone makes a big deal about Cameron Michaels and how she looks like she's gorgeous in and out of drag. I was talking to my friend Mark, who runs the Chronicles of Pornia blog. We still talk all the time. He's hilarious. And we were talking about how, you've worked in gay porn for too long when someone with a decent sized dick is not that impressive. And I'm telling you, what sparked this all up was a conversation we were having about Justin Bieber and versus Britney, and how, you know, Justin Bieber leaked a dick pic on purpose to get all famous, and if Britney did, her career would be over. Well, first of all, I think that there are pictures of Britney's vagina from when she was exiting a car from the early 2000s, so I'm not quite sure that's true. But I was talking about how, you know, he's got a nice dick, but it's not that big. I mean, everyone's making it out to be like it's this big monster, but have they not seen Ken Riker? Have they not seen Trevor Knight? Or, like, I mean, these people have huge monster, Dean Phoenix, monster cocks, like, that are ridiculously big. So I'm just like, okay. But I mean that's kind of how I feel about Cameron Michaels. Not necessarily in the dick department, but in the muscles department, because there are so many muscle queens. I mean, I just came from White Party. There was a bunch of them, you know, and I'm sure they all love Drag Race too. I swear to God, I'm not shitting you. At White Party, you know what the #1 phrase I heard the most was in White Party? Miss Vanjie, Miss Vanjie. I mean, like, it was hilarious. It was pretty funny. Anyways, thank you so much for logging on today. Oh, and the one that got sent home, I should probably tell you that. The one who got sent home was Dusty Ray Bottoms. And even, I think she was going up against Monet Exchange, I think. Either way, the girl she went up against was fierce, and for the lip sync. And it was sort of time for Dusty to go, I think, because she was kind of getting... You reach a point where, I don't know, like back in the days when I used to watch American Idol, like Nikki McKibben from season 1, I know this is taking it way back, but Nikki McKibben, she went home third, and actually that was probably the absolute best time for her to go, because they just reached a point where she was being outsung by Kelly Clarkson and Justin Guarini. So, but third place is nothing to sneeze at, especially in that first season. So I give them all credit, and we will. I'm sure we'll probably see Dusty Ray Bottoms again on All Stars 4 or 5, who knows. So I haven't counted her out yet, but especially because she talked about how, you know, like Blair St. Clair, who is adorable. And I relate so much to Blair St. Clair because when I was her age, I looked that young, just as young as she does. So I totally get it. Like, I get her. And she comes from a religious family, and they all are very supportive of her, which is great. However, Dusty Ray Bottoms also came from a religious family, and they basically went psycho on him, and he had to cut his family out of his life. And Blair St. Clair, like, the hardest part is that he can't talk to his mom every day because he talks to his mom every day. And, like, but in a way, it could be, in a way, Dusty could be like, that's not fair that I never had that, you know, blah, blah, blah. But instead, he said, it's nice to see that does exist in the world, that parents are accepting of their children and of, you know, their religious choices or whatever. And that was actually kind of cool. That was actually a very cool sentiment. And so I'm glad that she was on the show because she got to express that to the world at large. So that was really impressive. So anyways, okay. Thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Angel Benton. You can hashtag Drag Race to talk RuPaul's Drag Race or RPDR. Or you can also hashtag Days or DOL to talk Days of Our Lives. I'm doing that next. And you can hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel to get my YouTube videos sent to your email inbox every single day. And if you look around, you'll find my Storytime with Angel Benton series where I tell all kinds of crazy stories about my life not having anything to do with television. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for logging on today. Have a great day. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.